a YouTube Eastside pine fire hazard lesson number 3. We're standing out in the middle of a big area that was thinned 20 years ago, or a little more. We're in eastern Plumas County. I did a fuels survey here 20 years ago. We did a photo point out here. And this was all freshly thinned. It was like well-spaced trees, nothing on the ground. And now, 20 years later, it looks like this. So we got this crazy thicket here of little pine trees. And kind of all through this thinned area, we've got kind of these clumps of super thick ponderosa pine. So this is another place where prescribed fire could be a good tool in here. We could burn it with some wind, and we could push it through these thickets here. And our goal would be to kill all these little baby trees, because given another 20 years, this is going to be like a really expensive thing to kind of come in here and try to thin out all these trees. Right now, you could come in here and burn it and kill all these trees, or you could come in here right now with a chainsaw and spend a day and just knock all this little stuff down and make some piles and burn those. But it's super important, you know, when we thin forests, it's not really one and done. Like, depending on the conditions, you know, you might have to come back in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You know, we're up here on the east side and things don't grow super fast. But, you know, this area right behind me is still pretty open on the ground. Oftentimes things like soil disturbance are a big factor. Like when you log and you disturb the soil, the things that ponderosa pine needs to regenerate are sunlight and bare soil. Oftentimes, one of the problems with the mechanical thinning of the forest is that you disturb a lot of soil, and especially in areas that you have like landings or concentrated traffic, you end up with a lot of bare soil. And then a bunch of pine cones fall in there, and then you get some rain, and then you get these thickets. So the best time to deal with a thicket, like one of these right behind me, is when they're small. If you have conditions like this on your property with a lot of trees that are like under 6 feet, you should go ahead and cut them all down right now. Or maybe, you know, maybe you pick like the 2 that you like best, the 2 tallest, healthiest looking ones in here, because, you know, the spacing's such that maybe you want to keep a couple trees. But in general, all these little spindly, you know, look at how many trees there are. You know, there's dozens of trees just in like 10 square feet here. Best time to thin is when trees are small. They get bigger, they're expensive, they're hard to get rid of. You have to chip them, etc. So come in here with your axe, your Pulaski, grub them out while they're small.